so big! Hi, library friends. It's me, Miss Cat. I'm so glad you can join me for So Big today. Today, we're going to talk and sing and read about squirrels and leaves. Now, I know many of you have been looking out your window and noticing all the squirrels that have been running around collecting nuts for the winter. And I know that you've been watching the trees turn colors and the leaves start to fall. So I thought we would talk about that today. But first, let's sing our Hello, How Are You song, where we use the signs for hello, how are you, I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. Ready? Hello, 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 how are you? Hello, 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 how are you? I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. So when we say hello, we make a little salute like hello. And then when we say how are you, we make the sign for how are you, which is our fingers together, thumbs up. We move them forward and then we point saying you. How are you? And then when we make the sign for good, we put our hand to our chin and then down to our palm. Good. And then when we make the sign for great and wonderful, we take our two palms and we push them forward. Great and wonderful. Let's try it again. Hello, 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 how are you? Hello, 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 how are you? I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. I hope that you're good and you're great and you're wonderful today. Our first story is about squirrels today. But before we listen to the story, let's get our wiggles out. I wiggle my fingers. I wiggle my toes. I wiggle my shoulders. I wiggle my nose. Wiggle, wiggle. Now, no more wiggles are left in me. I'm as still can be. Our first story is called Gray Squirrels by Gigi Lake. Do you see the squirrel on the cover? Gray squirrels are the kind of squirrel that we see running around outside. Tree jumpers. A small rodent hops from tree to tree. Its long bushy tail keeps it balanced. This tree jumper is a gray squirrel. It almost looks like he's flying, doesn't it? He's just a really good jumper. Gray squirrels have gray or black fur. Parts of their coats can be brown. Sometimes their bellies are white. Gray squirrels are found in North America and in Europe. In both places they live in the woods. We live in North America and we see gray squirrels here. Woodland homes. Gray squirrel homes are nests and dens. Nests are built high up in the tree branches. They are made of leaves and sticks. Do you see this nest high up in a tree? There's a little squirrel in that nest. Squirrels live in dens in winter. Dens are found in hollow trees. Their squirrels stay warm in cold weather. Forest food. Gray squirrels eat nuts, flowers, and tree bark. They bury some of their food in the ground. Squirrels eat this food in the winter. Do you remember I told you that they're digging little holes in my lawn and burying their nuts? They are, every day. Staying safe. Squirrels have a lot of predators. A predator is an animal that catches another animal for food. Hawks, owls, raccoons, and foxes hunt them. Gray squirrels stay close to their homes to stay safe. Sometimes gray squirrels outrun predators. Their back legs are powerful. Gray squirrels can run up to 20 miles an hour. That is very fast. Baby squirrels. Mother squirrels have 2 to 8 babies twice a year. Babies stay with their mother for 2 to 3 months. Then the young squirrels are ready to leave the nest. Oh, look how cute the baby squirrels are. The end. Now you know a little bit more about gray squirrels. Let's learn a few more things about squirrels. This is a book called Squirrels by Julie Murray, and we're going to look at a couple of pages of this book too. This says that squirrels have big eyes and their ears are upright. Do you see how their ears stand straight up? Let's see what else we can learn about squirrels in this book. Squirrels climb trees. They use their sharp claws. They have claws on the end of their feet that help them climb and hold on to the trees. Squirrels have sharp teeth, and they use them to eat nuts. This squirrel is eating a nut. Many squirrels, like the gray squirrel, have long bushy tails. Do you see the bushy tail? They use them to balance. Speaking of bushy tails, we know a song about gray squirrels and their bushy tails. That's right. So everybody get a sock or a piece of fabric or a piece of paper, or you can just wave your hand like a bushy tail. You ready? Do you have something to wave? Okay. Let's sing Gray Squirrel. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Wrinkle up your little nose. Hold a nut between your toes. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. We have a second verse this week. Goes like this. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Climb up in the tallest tree. Can you pretend to climb up way high? Let your tail blow in the breeze. gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Let's sing that one again. Now you know all the verses. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Wrinkle up your little nose. Can you wrinkle? Hold a nut between your toes. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Climb up in the tallest tree. Oh, I'm so high. Let your tail blow in the breeze. Okay, it's blowing. Gray squirrel, swish your bushy tail. Great job. I have another poem about a squirrel that we can say today. It has some actions that go along with the words. I'll do it for you and then we can do it together. It goes like this. I am a squirrel in a tall, tall tree. So I'm raising my hands up tall, like a tall tree. I like to look around and see. So I'm making my hands like binoculars, which are special glasses that help you see far away. And I say see. And then we're going to pretend to pick acorns. I am picking acorns for my lunch. I love the way they crunch. So I'm making a little sign for crunch. Kind of when you crunch something in your mouth, this is what your mouth looks like. Crunch. Sometimes I stretch my arms up to the sky. Take a leap and pretend to fly. Can you pretend to take a leap like a squirrel and fly? They don't really fly. They're just super jumpers. Let's try it together. I am a squirrel in a tall, tall tree. I like to look around and see. I am picking acorns for my lunch. I love the way they crunch. Sometimes I stretch my arms to the sky. Take a leap and pretend to fly. Our next story is about leaves. Have you been noticing that the leaves outside are changing colors? That happens in the fall. We're in the season of fall now, and that's when you see the squirrels picking a lot of acorns and saving them for the winter, and that's when you see the leaves outside starting to change color. So they start out green, but then they might change to red or orange or yellow or even brown. And then after a while, they fall off the trees and they float to the ground. And then you can walk on them and make crunching sounds, or you can rake them up. Sometimes people rake up the leaves into big piles and then they jump in them. Yes, that's so fun. I hope that you get a chance to do that. Let's read a story about some of those ideas. This story is called Fall Leaves Fall, and it is written by Zoe Hall and illustrated by Shari Halpern. Illustrated means that they made the pictures in the book. So Shari Halpern made the pictures. We watch the leaves. In summer, the leaves on the trees are green. When the leaves change color, we know fall is here. These leaves are starting to turn yellow. Look at all the fall colors. Leaves turn red, orange, and yellow. Do you see some red, orange, and yellow leaves? Oh, look, it's Mr. Squirrel. When the wind blows, leaves start to fall from the trees. We try to catch them. Have you ever tried catching leaves that were falling? I have to try that. We like to stomp on leaves. Crunch! We like to kick the leaves too. All the fall colors fly back into the air. We like to collect leaves. Some leaves are very small. Some leaves are big. Some leaves have pointy edges. Some leaves have smooth edges. When the leaves cover the ground, it's time to rake them up. Do you see the children? They're holding rakes and they use them to rake up the leaves into a pile. Ah, look! Here's a squirrel. Hi, Mr. Squirrel. It's a gray squirrel holding an acorn. At last, we have made a huge pile. Next, what do you think they're gonna do? What do you think? We jump in. That looks fun. Inside, we drink mugs of warm cider and eat lots of cookies. Their cookies are in the shape of leaves too. These leaves came from our favorite trees. Let's see what we have. Maple, oak, sassafras, ginkgo, beech, and another oak. Do you see how the leaves come in many colors and shapes? We make pictures with our leaves. Before long, the leaves have turned brown and the branches are bare. All the fall colors are gone, but we know they will be back next year. The end. So after the leaves turn beautiful colors like red and orange and yellow, they all fall to the ground. And once they're on the ground, they all start to turn brown. So in the end, all the leaves will end up being brown. Until the next year. I know a song about leaves, and it has some American Sign Language signs that go with it. Would you like to sing it with me today? Great! It's called The Leaves on the Trees, and it's sung to the same tune as the wheels on the bus, so you might recognize it. The first sign that we're going to learn is leaf. So you hold your palm in the air, and then you take your pointer finger like the branch, and this is the leaf part, this is the branch, and you just wiggle your leaf a little bit. Leaf. And then we're going to learn the sign for yellow. So you make a Y and you wiggle it. Yellow. And then the sign for brown is a B, and we just brush it against our face in a downward motion. Brown. Brown. So we have leaf, yellow, and brown. And then when we get to the part where we sing All Through the Town, we take our palms and we're going to touch our fingers and move them across through the town. All through the town. Can you do that? Let's try the first verse. Get your leaf ready. The leaves on the trees are yellow and brown, yellow and brown, yellow and brown. The leaves on the trees are yellow and brown all through the town. When we sing all through the town, we're almost tapping our fingers like a little tiny baby clap. All through the town, the tops of our fingers. The second verse says, the leaves on the trees are falling down. So we make our leaf. The leaves on the trees are falling down, falling down, falling down. The leaves on the trees are falling down all through the town. The next verse, we sing, let's rake them into a mound. So make the ground and make a rake with your fingers. Remember I showed you a rake in the leaf story, Fall Leaves Fall? Let's rake all the leaves into a mound, to a mound, into a mound. Let's rake all the leaves into a mound, all through the town. The next verse, we sing, let's jump in the pile. So we're going to do the sign for jump. We learned that sign when we were singing about horses a couple of months ago. So make the ground, and you're going to make your two fingers jump like two legs. Let's jump in the pile, jump up and down, up and down, up and down. Let's jump in the pile, jump up and down, all through the town. That was so great. Let's sing the whole thing together. We're going to start with our leaf sign. The leaves on the trees are yellow and brown, yellow and brown, yellow and brown. The leaves on the trees are yellow and brown, all through the town. Good. The leaves on the trees are falling down, falling down, falling down. The leaves on the trees are falling down, all through the town. Let's rake all the leaves into a mound, into a mound, into a mound. Let's rake all the leaves into a mound, all through the town. Let's jump in the pile, jump up and down, up and down, up and down. Let's jump in the pile, jump up and down, all through the town. Great job, everybody. That was a lot of signs to learn. You did a great job. All that singing about jumping in leaves makes me remember another song that I know about jumping in the leaves. For this song, we all have to stand up and get ready to jump. Let's do it. Come on. Is everybody standing? Are you ready to jump? Okay, let's go. Jump up, jump in, pile leaves high, let the fun begin. Jump up, jump in, leaves are great for jumping in. Working together, we pile leaves high, higher, higher to the sky. Working together, we pile leaves high, higher, higher to the sky. Jump up, jump in, pile leaves high, let the fun begin. Jump up, jump in, leaves are great for jumping in. Jump high, jump low, jump fast, jump slow. Jump high, jump low, jump fast, let's go, go, go. Jump up, jump in, pile leaves high, let the fun begin. Jump up, jump in. Leaves are great for jumping in. Working together, we pile leaves high, higher, higher to the sky. Working together, we pile leaves high, higher, higher to the sky. One more time. Jump up, jump in. Pile leaves high, let the fun begin. Jump up, jump in. Leaves are great for jumping in. Whew, that was a lot of jumping. Whew, are you out of breath? I'm a little bit. I'm glad I have my couch to sit and rest on. So for our last song, it's called Flying Squirrel, and it's about a squirrel who flies through the air, but we know they don't really fly, they just jump very, very well. So in this song, we're going to pretend to fly through the air. Now, if you want to stand up and do this, you can stand up along with me, or you can sit down and fly through the air like I am. I'm jumping from tree to tree, and it goes like this. He flies through the air with the greatest of ease, our neighborhood squirrel leaping through all our trees. His thick bushy tail helps him balance and steer as he jumps from the treetops all day. That was fun. Let's do it again. Are you jumping from tree to tree as we sing? Woo! He flies through the air with the greatest of ease, our neighborhood squirrel leaping through all our trees. His thick bushy tail helps him balance and steer as he jumps from the treetops all day. Woo! A lot of jumping going on there. Great job! Well, all my So Big friends, So Big is finished for today. I hope you join me next week when we have more squirrel stories and more stories about leaves and a special fall craft. Before we go, I want to tell you a fun fact about squirrels. Did you know that squirrels can smell food under 1 foot of snow? So if there's an acorn and it's under this much snow, the squirrel on top can smell that it's down there. That's a super sniffer. So squirrels are super jumpers and super sniffers too. I bet you didn't know that. Have a wonderful week, everybody, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.